not as tall as Armitage. All right, how's everybody doing? I'm here tonight to indulge all of the history nerds in the audience. When Judah said that she was doing this show, it was called Storyville Rising, I was like, well, you need a little actual Storyville in there, don't you? And in the late 50s, it wasn't actually me, but in the late 50s, a man named Al Rose actually interviewed dozens of people who were active in the Storyville district back in the day. A lot of people are surprised to discover it only existed for 20 years. It opened in 1897 and was closed in 1917. And so I have selected a few of the fascinating and resourceful and endlessly pragmatic ladies that he interviewed in his day. I'm going to give you guys a little introduction to the actual ladies of Storyville. I was born in 1904 in the wintertime as a trick baby. That means my father was just one of them Johns that paid my mother for a fuck. I was born in the attic at Hilma Burt's place over on Basin Street, you know, next to the firehouse. A lot of kids born in those attics in them days. I read a book one time about a house that was selling a mother and daughter team for $50 a night, and the guy who wrote it is acting like that's some sort of a freak show or something. Well, I can tell you the truth, and you can write it down, that I was part of an act like that. And I know a bunch of my girlfriends. I know 2 girlfriends of mine that are still living that was part of an act like that. That wasn't anything strange. I ain't ashamed of what I did. I didn't have much say in it. I ain't ashamed of what my mama did neither, any more than I'd be ashamed to say I'm part of the human race, huh? You know, I don't remember a time when I didn't know what my mother did. I didn't know what a man's prick looked like. Sometimes I'd watch them through the portieres like they had in them days, and sometimes I just walk right in the room. Ain't nobody said nothing. One night when I was 10 years old, I walked into the bedroom where my mother was turning her tricks, and she's there, and the John's there, and the John's got his pants off, and she was, you know, like washing his prick off with a washcloth, and she looks over at me and she says, "This here's my kid." The John looks at me and he says, "Well, don't you think a good little girl ought to help her mama out?" My mama laughed and she handed me the washcloth, and I just took it. I didn't think nothing of it, so I washed him off and he gave me $1. Well, I tell you what, that went over so big, my mother brought me in just about every time she turned a trick. Tell you, that washing up act got so popular, pretty soon all the other girls are having me come in when they turn in their tricks too. I was pulling in nearly $100 a week. That was real money for a 10-year-old kid in them days. Shit, those Johns never bothered me. I didn't even have nothing to feel yet. First time I got fucked was over Emma Johnson's studio on Basin Street. I was there 2 or 3 nights a week, and there's another girl there my age, Liz. She's still alive. You can ask her. She'd tell you this. We were 12, and we used to work together. And by this time, we started to get a little figure, and we're looking really good. And one night, Emma says she thinks I'm ready, and will I do it for half of what she can get for me? I didn't usually talk things over with my mama in them days, but I asked her this, and she said since I was starting to get hair on my cunt, I might as well do it. So one night, Emma makes a big speech about me and Liz, and how everybody in the district knows we's virgins, and if the price is right, tonight is the night. And there's a man there, he bid me and Liz in, both of us, honest to God, $775 each. Yeah, a lot of Johns bid, but he wasn't going to be satisfied with just one of us. No, he wanted us both together. So, we all went upstairs, and me and Liz, we come on with everything we could think of, including that dyke act, which we've been doing anyway in the circus. You know where my mother fucked the pony? Yeah. So, anyway, I didn't even hardly have to touch him when he came. So then the 3 of us fooled around a little bit till he got to where he could do a little something, and we finally got him inside Liz. I could tell it hurt her a little bit. She bled some, but she said it wasn't that bad. She was just glad to, you know, be done with it. John didn't have enough in him to do nothing with me, so he arranged it with Emma to come back the next night. It wasn't that bad. The guy really thought that he got his money's worth, so I guess that was pretty good. And the next year, the district closed down. I had me some money saved. I got a job as a waitress. I still turn a few tricks on the side, but once I took up with my husband, I quit all of that. I don't know if it was a good life or a bad life. I know I got a good life now. I know how to appreciate it. You know, my 3 daughters, they're all older than I was when I quit the business, and I can't honestly say they're any better or worse off than I was. I know it would be good if I could say it was really awful and like crime don't pay and whatever, but to me it just seemed like anything else, you know? It's like a kid whose daddy owns a grocery store. You know, he'd help him out at the store. Just my mama didn't sell no groceries.